So here we are. It's the end of the first full week of February. And it's interesting how that, I feel like getting through January is kind of the goal of winter sometimes, but February can be hard. I mean, we're only halfway through the winter season on the calendar, and we Michiganders know that it lasts longer than that. So February has this particular kind of weight to it. It's not like just hunched against the cold. It's that other weight, the kind where you feel it in your shoulders when you have to put on yet another layer of clothing. The kind you feel in your brain when it's still dark before 7 p.m. The kind you feel when your body is trying to do normal life in this season that just keeps whispering to us that maybe it would be more efficient if we were a bear. And winter has a way of making everything feel heavier than it is, right? It's just our bodies, our worries, our patience, even our faith sometimes. I mean, and you know what I mean. Things that seem like they would be more than manageable in July suddenly feel like they require a committee meeting, 3 naps, and an act of Congress. So I want to say this up front before we pretend we're all doing fine, that weariness is not a moral failure. It's not a sign that we're weak. It's not proof that we're not doing faith right. It might just be winter. It might just be life. It might be the accumulation of years of carrying more than one person should carry. And Jesus, bless him, does not meet weary people with disappointment. He meets them with an invitation. Come to me, all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Not try harder. Not get it together. Not when you've solved yourself, then come. Just come to me. Which is a voice we can all use, because let's be honest about the voices most of us live with in our head. Some of us grew up with a voice that said, if you rest, you're lazy. Some of us grew up with a voice or live with our own voices that says, if you're tired, you must be doing something wrong. And some of us have that little voice in our head that says you only deserve rest when everything is finished, which is an adorable idea. Because if you'd like to wait for everything to be finished, I hope you pack snacks, because that day is not on the calendar yet. And of course, there are church-flavored versions of those voices. If you were really faithful, you wouldn't feel this way. If you trusted God enough, you wouldn't be anxious. If you were stronger, you wouldn't need a break. And I just want to say flat out, that is not the voice of Jesus. Jesus' voice does not add weight to people who are already weighed down. His voice doesn't shame the tired. It doesn't scold the burdened. It doesn't demand spiritual performance from exhausted people. His voice says, come to me, all who are weary. And when Jesus says rest, he's not talking about escapism. He's not offering a fantasy life where nothing hurts, where nothing is asked of you, and where nobody ever bothers you with a church meeting again, although that last part does sound tempting. He's offering something other than a nap. He's offering a rest that can coexist with real life. Rest that doesn't require you to run away. Rest that doesn't depend on circumstances being perfect. The kind of rest that you get from Psalm 131, I have calmed and quieted my soul. Like a weaned child with its mother is my soul within me. That's not everything is fine. That's I'm held. Like the rest of Psalm 23, he makes me to lie down in green pastures. He restores my soul. Not because the world is harmless, but because God is faithful. It's the rest God gives Elijah when he is running away from Jezebel after thoroughly embarrassing the priests of Baal. And he just decides he's tired of running. And so he's just going to sit down by this tree. Thank you very much. And it'd be all right if it ended right here. And then an angel of the Lord shows up and does not lecture him. He gives him food, tells him to take a nap, gives him another meal. And then, and only then, does he get his next steps. Sometimes the holiest thing God does is not to explain something. Sometimes God feeds you and lets you sleep. And then Jesus says something that I think we might miss every now and then just from familiarity. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So a yoke is not a pillow. It's not an all-inclusive resort. A yoke is what you put on an ox to do work. So Jesus isn't saying, follow me and you'll never carry anything. He's saying, you're already carrying something. And that's the truth. We all live yoked to something. Fear, expectation, people-pleasing, resentment, the need to be right, the need to be needed, the anxiety that says if I stop, everything will fall apart. Some of us have been yoked to survival for so long, we don't know what it feels like to take that harness off. And Jesus doesn't shame us for that. He simply says that yoke is crushing you. Come trade it. And he doesn't say here, take this generic yoke that fits everyone exactly the same. He says, my yoke is easy. And that word that's translated as easy is one of those really cool words because it means like well-fitting, suited. So it's made for you. It fits like a glove. There is no chafing. There's no... It's balanced just for you, and it's asking you to do the work that you can do. Just like he did with the disciples, right? When he calls Peter, James, and John, who are fishermen, what does he say? I'm going to make you fishers of men. I'm not asking you to do something you can't do. I'm asking you to do the work you can do that you already know how to do. This yoke is not harsh. Jesus doesn't offer a way of life that grinds your soul down. This yoke doesn't chafe, it doesn't crush. It's a way of living where you can actually breathe. And then he adds the line that makes this a balm instead of just another demand. Learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. Not learn from me because I'm watching for you to mess up. Gentle, humble. Jesus isn't trying to break us into obedience. Jesus is trying to teach us a life made whole. So let me speak in particular to you for a moment. When churches go through decline or conflict or uncertainty, when you have spent years wondering if you'll make it, you can develop a survival yoke. And even when circumstances improve, the yoke remains. The body just keeps bracing. So if you feel like you can't relax, even when things get steadier than they've been, you're not crazy. So you got that going for you. That's what survival does to you. And Jesus doesn't say, why are you still acting like that? He says, come, let me carry this with you. Let me teach you a different way. Rest is not giving up. It's not apathy. It's not we don't care. Rest is what makes love possible again. What makes patience possible again. What makes courage possible again. Because here's the truth. Tired people don't become kinder, especially when they're being told to try harder. They become kinder when they're finally allowed to breathe. We all do. All human beings just become kinder when we're rested. Scientifically proven. Study after study after study has shown that we are friendlier and more empathetic when we're rested. So here in the depths of winter is a gospel invitation for you. If you are weary, you are not failing. If you are burdened, you are not disqualified. If you're tired, you're not less faithful. Jesus is gentle, and Jesus is calling, come to me, and I will give you rest. Not later when you've earned it, but now, exactly as you are. Amen.